Winterberg in Germany is the second stop on the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup Tour for 2018-2019. Day one is Skeleton Day on Friday. It's a little blustery, but still no snow in the air as we get into the second heat of the men's competition. I'm Martin Haven, alongside me US slider Michael Rogers. And Michael, it's shaping up like a bit of a classic Winterberg day. Windy, cold and close racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Due to the nature of the track, I mean, we're going to have some very tight racing between everybody. Right now we're taking a look at the third place guy, racer after the first run, Nikita Tregibov. He had a very solid, smooth run and good start, so yeah, that explains why he's up at the top. And then we had Sung Bin Yu in second place, and yeah, again, solid, smooth. He's a very fast starter, Olympic champion. He's just an all-around great racer, so you always expect to see him up at the top.
200s of a second in it so far, so Winterberg, but then our leader kind of changed all that.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of blew out the field on the first run. So, yeah, just a lightning fast start, and then very clean, efficient lines the entire way down the track. And yeah, I mean, you can't say enough good things about that run.
Tretyakov off the podium last year for the first time in 11 seasons. Hasn't won here for 12 years, but look at that margin. 4400s clear of anybody else. Add 4400s to second place, then you're down at the bottom of the top 10. That's how tight Winterberg normally is. So Tretyakov, you know, in American football parlance, he's got more than one step. He's got 2 or 3 steps on the field, hasn't he? So he's a long way clear, but there are ties and very close battles all the way down our top 20.
Yeah, we have lots of races within the race, and it should be really exciting to see what happens, how the chips fall, as it were. 26
starters, the fastest 20 go through. So rookie Austin Florian of the USA is the first of our 20 as they go in reverse action. And there is Martin Stuurkurs getting a little bit of sprinting practice up at the start. Now, athletes can't change the runner, but they can change the rock. And that's exactly what Tregibov's doing there, measuring how little the contact patch is going to be. It's like the bottom of a rocking chair.
Yeah, essentially, you can increase or decrease the amount of rock in the runner by adjusting a bolt at the back of the sled. And that increases or decreases the contact patch, and also increases or decreases the amount that the sled can turn in any given track or any given curve. So you're increasing your rate of turn at the same time as decreasing your grip. So yeah.
Basically, loosey-goosey for speed, but you've got to be able to control it somehow.
Exactly.
So, all right, so the top 20 in the first heat go in reverse order. Both runs count, and the minimum elapsed time is the winner. So Austin Florian will be first off, as he was in the first heat, so he's getting a bit of a baptism of fire. And Alexander Tretyakov, last to go, defending his first round lead of much more than you realistically need in Winterberg, and then some. So let's see how this one plays out.
Let's go, Austin. Get after it.
World Cup debutant Austin Florian of the USA, former ski racer from Southington, Connecticut, the 24-year-old in the top 20 at his first attempt in a packed field. A great first run for him. His teammate Michael Rogers alongside Michael, 5:02, good start.
Good start. He handled 0 really, really well. I really liked his line through there, no drama, no skids. He's looking pretty smooth so far. I'm just trying to see. He's a little bit late off curve too.
Well, like him, you've raced on this track without the cameras and the lights and all the other stuff. How different is it going to be at the start?
Well, hopefully he can focus through all that, but there's a lot more stuff going on. You have the 2-minute timer. He got very high on that first little bit of Kreisel, but he seems to have flattened it out very nicely. Yeah, so hopefully he's handling it, but there's going to be just people and things happening.
Well, the good thing is he's guaranteed at least a top 20 finish. Nobody else will be able to bump him out.
Yeah, nothing to lose. Just let it go.
1:26.1, quicker than he was in the first heat. That's good speed at the bottom. That should be a quicker run. It is by 1/3 of a second.
That's a good run.
There you go. Can't argue with that.
Oh, man, that was a great shot with the track flying by with his mirror visor.
Yeah.
And his sweet-looking paint job on his helmet. Yeah.
57.33 would have left him somewhere around 14th or 15th in the first heat, so that's a big improvement. And a great-looking helmet livery as well.
Yeah. No, it was a great run for him. He looks very excited with it.
Well, there you go. If he doesn't go back Christmas happy, first World Cup race, and he's got a good result, and he could pick off a couple. Next up, Alex Hansen of Norway. Started 4.98, 8th fastest starter in the field. Still relatively new to sliding. And so it's controlling the speed down the sled. His coach, Kristen Bromley, also the sled builder.
Yeah, he has a nice explosive start. Just great turnover, very strong athlete. Had to fight the groove a little bit right there, but and didn't quite handle zero as well as Austin, who came before him.
4.98, 400s quicker at the start, and he had 300s in hand, 200s in hand from the first heat, but he's lost all of that advantage.
Yeah, he's a little bit offline. He had a loop there in 4 because he went late, built some late height. 5, he's a little free, hits before 6. Too early into Kreisel, which built that wave you're seeing right there, and then he's probably going to rise a little. He handled the rise very well at the end. 8.9 is very solid.
Last year finished only 26th in this race, so this is a better performance. Top 20 guaranteed again, but he is behind.
Very smooth in the bottom of the track, but he had to cut a lot of ice to get that smooth line.
And 2 kilometers an hour down on our race leader. So 58.07. Florian now, again, unused to the way that the World Cup works, he'd wandered off and didn't know there was a leader's box that he should be in with a jacket. So
no, looks like somebody got him a jacket.
Yeah,
so
they did.
Get nice and as toasty as possible.
Yeah, Hester was down there hustling around, getting him sorted out. So Alex Hansen drops 1.
Yeah, everything started with right there. He got pulled right out of the left groove a little bit. He had to fight it, as you can see. And then, yeah, he was just a little bit offline most of the way down the track. That hit before 6, it skid all the way through 6, so it's a skid in pressure, so your sled is essentially weighs more than it did, and you're going sideways, so you're cutting tons of time.
Third of our top 20 starters is Switzerland's Ronald Arderset, 18th in the World Cup rankings after last weekend. 26 equal here last year with Alex Hansen. So again, 18th place, 8 steps better up the order.
Yeah, then we got another fast starter. Then yeah, he looks okay so far. It looks like the groove treated him just fine. He's handling a little skid out of 0, but nothing too bad.
5.02 start in the first heat, 4.99, so that's an improvement. He needs every 100th on this track.
Absolutely. Yeah. 2's looking pretty smooth. A little bit of a skid kind of between 3 and 4.
600s up on Austin Florian from the first heat. Now out to 2400s. Now he could climb the order.
Yeah, absolutely. Looked like he was too early to Kreisel, so he might. Well, it looks like he's handling everything very well. Yeah, so he's putting together a very solid run right here.
Not as fast as the American leader. So some of that gap is going to go away, down to 1700s.
It's going to be close coming up
It is. 125.2, a kilometre an hour too slow, very close. 1100ths of a second, he pips him, but Austin Florian gets his World Cup debut, gets to hang out in the leader's box.
Yeah, got some FaceTime.
Yeah, there you go. Now all he's got to do is learn how to milk it a bit more.
Yeah, give us some funny faces, maybe some, yeah.
Well, the longer you're in the leader's box feeling awkward, the more things you invent as you do so.
Yeah. You get some nice high fives from the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little too early to Kreisel. Yeah, he actually hit. I thought he just got knocked away. And here he is in curve 11. Very flat line, which means he doesn't rise quite as much as some of our other sliders. But he had to give up some speed to get that flat line. So, I don't know, we'll see if it's worth it.
Ronald Arderset, our race leader. Greg Rest of the USA got a little knocked up in training. 17th after the first of our 2 heats here, the last race before the Christmas New Year break, which I have to say is more Christmas than New Year. Everybody from the US will be heading back to Europe before New Year's. 5.19, same as his first start.
Yeah, he had a bit of an abrupt curve 0, but he handled it really, really well, and he came out without any skids. Ooh, shying away from 3, so he didn't quite have the line that he wanted. Again, just a little bit off, but it looks like he's kind of trying to let the sled do as much as it can without interfering too much. Great entrance to Kreisel. A little bit of late height there, pushes him a little too early to 9, but handled it very well.
He's come up from 4th at the start to 2nd place. He's closing on our leader, Ronald Arderset.
Yeah, building speed. Greg is great at building speed.
There we go, into the green, 127.7, good speed, very good speed.
Great speed.
And at the line, 57.17.
High drama, but not drama in the way. And there's his signature power slide again.
Well, you don't have brakes here like they do in a skeleton sled, so your feet are your brakes, and he obviously wants to keep the shoes alive.
Yeah, those shoes are pretty expensive, so you don't want to drag them around too much if you don't have to.
First heat, 57.51. That was a 57.17. That's a big improvement.
Good run.
Yeah.
Yeah, those little adjustments that he was making down the track that I was mentioning, they must have paid off, so he must have gotten, you know, your movement is never great, but at least it put him on a more ideal line, which allowed him to do what he did.
Well, there's a smile from Greg West. That's the Chinese for 6, by the way, as well as all the other meanings for it I learned last night.
Yeah, you'll be seeing more of him or hearing from him later.
Jerry Rice next up, 7th fastest starter in the field. And last year, Jerry only 29th in the World Cup races. He's only had 3 previous runs down, or race runs down this track. 495 starts. That's quicker than his first getaway.
Good run, or good start rather.
Yeah.
Very smooth around curve 1. And yeah, nice smooth exit of curve 2, 3 into 4. His runners are parallel, so he's not skidding at all.
He was a little skiddy in the first heat, wasn't he? He and Marcus Wyatt both.
Yeah, a little bit.
3900s up, so holding his advantage.
He has that same early entrance of Kreisel that doesn't make sense on my sled, but apparently works for them. Knocked away from 9 just a little bit.
All right, gaps coming down.
Handled it very well.
4/10 down to 3/10 up.
A little bit of a skid on the entrance to 13 there, but...
Oh, 125. No. This is going to be close. It'll be within a 10th of the line. 700s. 57.15. Greg came down 57.17. Representing in the leaders box. See, there's all sorts of things.
Doing a good job for our sponsors. Oh, thanks, Greg.
Yeah. Well, Deanna Panting not only makes great race suits for sliders and for ski racers, but a former slider herself.
Yeah, she really knows what she's doing. She knows how to make a good suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, not relatively low drama everywhere. Just that little bit of a tap and a skid before 13, which gave him kind of there, like the skid. He's shying away from the hit there.
And a full 3/10 quicker than his previous run from Jerry Rice. So
yeah, I think
he is our leader from Greg West and Ronald Arderset. 5 down, 15 to go here in Winterberg.
Yeah, no, it looks like the ice. It looks like they did a good job prepping the ice for the second run. So some of these guys that didn't necessarily get the best conditions for the first run are getting a crack at some really good ice.
Next up, Vladislav Heriskevich, one of the biggest of the athletes on tour. Now, he admitted last year when he made his World Cup debut, he said, I'm a strong man, I'm not a sprinter, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But he uses his mass well, doesn't he?
Absolutely. He really knows how to build some speed going down the track, and he's really good at using the advantages that he naturally has. Looking solid so far, nice straight into curve 4.
He's definitely learning how to use the speed well. 3500s back though, the gap's not shortening.
No, a little bit too early to Kreisel for my liking. A little high, but he handles it very well.
Fastest speed so far, 97.0, half a kilometre down on Greg West. So the gap's closing, but only a little. I think Greg's hanging out in the leader's box for at least another couple of minutes.
Yeah, unless there's some kind of crazy speed going on right here.
Not enough, 126.6, a kilometre down. So he'll be close, but no cigar. 1100s at the line.
Falls back to, falls back to 3rd.
Yep. 600ths of a second, quicker than his previous run, but the 2 sleds in front of him found a 1/3 of a second each. So Vladislav Heriskevich of the Ukraine in 3rd spot out of our 6 sliders.
and it's not.
Zero, pretty much you can see right there, he's going sideways. So he lost a little bit of time there. Otherwise, it was a pretty composed run, he just didn't quite find the speed. Kevin Boyer next up, and Boyer started 22nd in the field, but it was already...
Paul had to punch his way in, got through into 14th place. 5:04 start, and the same in the second heat.
Looking pretty good. A little too early into one for my liking, but hey, he handled it really well.
Yeah, curve 1 is the old first corner. When they built the new start area, there was a little bend in the track. That's why we have a 0 curve, because they already named curve 1.
You don't want to make new signs and all that stuff.
Yeah,
it gets confusing for lines. Got knocked away there.
100th behind as he lay down, 200ths behind as he gets to the Kreisel.
Yeah, he's not, I mean, yeah, he got knocked away from 9 there. He's just having little issues that are compounding.
This is classic Winterberg stuff. Within a couple of hundredths of a second, 70 miles an hour, chin down on the ice.
He's got better lines at the bottom than Jerry.
Let's see how close he is. Oh, there's the Scorpion out of the final corner.
Oh, thanks for giving the fans what they came for, Kev.
Yeah, the victory roll, a little early in the day. So 78.5 miles an hour down at the bottom, and still accelerating as he rolled off the final corner. Well, his speed wasn't as good as Greg West's, but he had more advantage in hand. Yay.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, this final corner has a nature all of its own, and we'll probably see that in a moment or two, where you just hold the speed and, yeah, you don't want to steer.
Did he do a full rotation or did he bring it back? Yeah, he did the full rotation.
Yeah. Good stuff. We've seen bobsleigh races won before now by rolling off the final turn. Kyle Brown of the USA, 13th in the field after our first of 2 heats in Winterberg, Germany. 300ths of a second ahead, beg your pardon, 1200ths of a second ahead of our current leader, Kevin Boyer of Canada.
On the sled. Groove seems like it pulled him a little bit. He had to work a little bit. Handles curve 0 very well.
5:07, he's 400ths quicker at the start. He knows that every 100th will count now.
Bit of a wave, a little bit rough from 2 to 3, but it seems to be shying away from the wall before 4. Very smooth through 5. 6. Good entrance to Kreisel. Oh, let it run a little too much there. He's in the green. A little tap before 9.
Not bad for a man who's only ever raced here once in his career, and that was 4 years ago.
Yeah, no, he's letting the sled go as much as he possibly can.
125.7, not the greatest speed at the bottom. We're going to be very close at the line. Oh, 100th in it, and he
So
took
close.
the big hit on the wall. Caleb Smith is very happy with that.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Just race within the race, a little bit of drama. Not quite as flashy as Kevin's finish, but I guess he'll take it.
Yep. Yeah, not as flashy, probably more painful.
I don't know about Kevin's roll. That kind of hurts a little. The burn a little high there.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. He's just a little bit off here and there, but like I said,
He was trimmed out for speed, wasn't he? He really was letting it fly.
as much as possible. Just be brave, relax, and do what you can.
Feel the force, my son.
Absolutely.
Race leader is Kyle Brown of Canada. Next to the line is Florian Auer. 12th place here, 10th place last weekend in Sigulda, the season opener in Latvia. His best ever World Cup result. Let's see if he can match that here on a very different kind of track.
Absolutely. He's got a lot of experience here, and he's a very efficient slider.
Plus, when you come from where he does, which is Innsbruck, that's even more be quiet, don't disturb the sled.
Yeah, he had a little bit of drama from 0 to 1. See how badly that impacts him. He's no advantage right now. See if he can build some speed.
Well, the last 2 sleds, Kevin Boyer and Kyle Brown, 57.21 for Boyer, 57.23 for Brown. And Florinauer is right in that same group.
Yeah, it looks like once again, he's trying to let the sled, he's trying to do as little as possible as he can to try and bring back to make up for the mistakes earlier in the track. But it's running a little too much in the wrong spots. So.
Now he's gone the other way.
Yeah, he's bringing it back again now.
Here we go, 1:27.0, fastest speed we've seen in the second heat, apart from Greg West, and 400s.
Passed in the finish curve. Yeah, no, he's very, if you watch his form on the way down the track, he looks just clean. He looks like a classic example of what you want a slider to look like.
Now, he's the first guy who's not been quicker on the second heat than he was on the first, so he survives on his first round advantage. That's going to make it tough to move up.
Yeah, now look there, he's just fighting, and then here he kind of gets trapped against the wall, and he's skidding into the wall right there. So it's just, without that, I mean, that's a few tenths of a second. You can see the trust. He knows he's high, but he's just letting it go.
High-fiving the fans down the bottom here. Lots of school kids out from the local schools on a day out. Let's hope they're wrapped up warm. 25th of our 26 starters in the first heat, Vladislav Marchenkov. Only the 18th fastest starter with a 5:10. But look at the height of him and look at the mass of this man. He really finds speed late in the run.
Absolutely.
That's a much better start.
A little bit of drama on one, but he handled it very well. Yeah, he's kind of a speed merchant, I guess, as good a phrase of any. He just connects really well with his sled, and he makes things happen going down the track.
You'll see a lot of that from the German girls in our women's race coming up later today. They find speed in the last 3 turns. 3/10 up. This is a big advantage.
Very flat through Kreisel. Worked out for him.
He was only 400s ahead of Florinauer in the first heat.
Big tap before him.
Gaps growing in leaps and bounds.
Yeah, I guess the Russians were set up for run 2.
Well, right now...
At least he is.
Yeah, 1:28.7, sensational speed. This could be a top half dozen run.
Yeah, that's an amazing run.
57.19 in the first heat. That's half a second quicker, 56.68.
Yeah.
Wow.
Considering the ice seems maybe 2, maybe 3 tenths faster, that's big improvement.
Now, if he'd done that in the first heat, he'd have been 100th behind Thomas Dukurs in 4th place.
Wow. Yeah, so like I said, a little bit of drama there. He flopped off, and he's bouncing, but he handled it really, really well.
Well, that could have been another 10th by the bottom of the track.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. Wow.
He's just, yeah, there's the tap before 9.
And still not the cleanest. But look, compared to Flo, Flo's not tall, but Marchenkov is a big guy.
Yeah, no, he's a big dude.
Well, next up is Geng of China, 17th fastest at the start, drove himself into 10th position. But for any of the next 5 athletes, hanging on in front of Marchenkov, he's going to take a big, big slide.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's on this, the Willie Schneider sled, so see what happens.
Little toe drag into Zero, who wanted to avoid the wall.
Yeah, a little bit of he turned the sled in the flat, which is kind of a skid, but it meant that he didn't have to go up onto 0.
Yeah.
And, hanging on onto 2 a little too long. A little too much cross. 3. Good 4-5.
3rd in the European Cup race here in November, but that's only his 3rd appearance on this track, so still limited in experience.
Yeah, with that, the lack of runs comes a little bit of inconsistency. But it looks like he stopped the bleeding.
Yep. Still in 2nd place ahead of Florinauer. He's not got many runs anywhere, actually. It's only his 2nd World Cup season. He's only 3rd year on ice, 4th year on ice.
Yeah, no, he's progressing really, really fast. That tap at the end.
Yeah.
Just brutal.
56.98, 2/10 of a second better than his previous run. But Marchenkov, with a half-second advantage, stays in the leader's box. And Wen Zhangeng stays in 2nd place. Now, that might yet be a top 10 run.
Yeah, no, he's just a couple little issues here and there that compounded going in the track. And then, like we said, Vladislav had just an amazing run.
Yeah. Vladislav Marchenkov leads halfway through the second heat of men's skeleton here in Winterberg in Germany. Gang of China in second. 10 down, 10 to go. Next up is Marcus Wyatt of Great Britain.
Looks like he's having a bit of a malfunction with his pants.
Yeah, Martin Haven and Michael Rogels watching the action trackside. Now, if that happened in Europa Cup or ICC, there's no timer at the start that you have to beat, is there?
No, there is a timer.
Oh, there is a timer still.
There is a timer. But GB has they try to make they have their athletes do the same stuff before every run.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's had issues getting his pants off in training before, so hopefully it won't get his heart racing too much.
Yeah. Although, getting the adrenaline going early never hurts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
600 slower at the start, 3/10 up though on Marchenkov of Russia.
Yeah.
Now
He's very comfortable on the sled.
he had 2600s in hand from the first heat, and he's just about got that first heat advantage alive.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, he's looking pretty good. Looks like he may have gotten bumped away from 9 a little bit.
Okay, Marchenkov had almost 1 km/h extra speed at this point. Marcus Wyatt needs something. This is close, but it's not going to be enough. 1:26.8, not fast enough. Marchenkov was 1:28.7 behind in second place. Well, Marchenkov, I think, produced a huge run that we weren't expecting after the first heat.
A mixture of good setup and good driving. And
Yeah.
Marcus looked cleaner, and sometimes it's not always going to be faster. Well, looks like he almost missed his saddle with his left hand there. He got fork grip instead of the...
Well, again, like loading a bobsleigh, always amazes me we don't see half the athletes missing their sled in skeleton.
Oh, that's because you guys don't film the first-year sliders.
Okay, Felix Kaisinger popped the groove first run in Sigulda on his World Cup debut. Popped the groove first run here in Winterberg as well. He's not exactly a bundle of calm, is he? He is full of excitement and adrenaline.
I love watching him on the block, pacing back and forth, just getting pumped up.
He's like a tiger in a cage, and look at the leg speed as well. He's got an enormous start. 4:94 first heat, 4:93 in the second, and it was clean, so he keeps that speed.
Absolutely. So we'll see what he can do going down the track.
Now, if this is a half-decent run, this would definitely move him up the order and put Marchenkov back in his box.
Yeah. Oh, very clean. The runners are very straight the whole way. So. Yeah, he's doing a really, really good job of resolving the forces in the curve before he gets onto the straightaway, which is why he's not having to fight in the straightaway like some of the other racers or athletes you're seeing.
I'm loving his start. I think we'll see a lot more of this young man for a lot of years. 5,600s up. This is a huge run.
Oh, absolutely. He looks like he's flying right now.
Now, I'm going to say this now. This is him shooting for a medal. 1:27.8 is good speed, not as good as the Russians, but he's got a big lead.
Yeah.
56.57 would have left him third in the first heat.
Yeah, that was a great run.
So if the track is quicker, it is. I mean, we've seen a lot of improvements, but that is a really solid run from Felix Kaisinger.
Yeah, no, I'm so impressed. He's
Now, if he puts 2 together in a race...
well, so if he can go a race without popping the groove,
yeah,
he'll, yeah. He didn't even really rise very much, and I think that was 9. Yeah, just little flops, but not anywhere that really matters.
Well, the key in this, as in auto racing, is the same. Get onto the turn right, and you carry more speed down the straight.
Absolutely, you have to work a lot less in the curve, and work equals slow.
Yeah. Felix Kaisinger, there he is, our race leader. Well, he was tied in 7th place with Martin Stukhors. Being tied with Martin Stukhors any time in the last decade would pretty much mean that you were the gold medalist. But maybe not this season.
Yeah, normally if I were retired with Martins, I'd probably retire after that race.
There you go.
Just go out on a high note.
4:92, big start, quicker than his first.
Very smooth through 1 into 2. See if he has the big... He hangs on to 2 a little bit long, but it's fine.
Now, he was pretty loose in the first heat, wasn't he? Very un-Martin, skidding and...
Yeah, looks like maybe things have worked out for run 2.
Yeah. Little adjustment maybe on the runners. 900ths of a second up on Felix Kaisinger. Nice run.
Yeah. No, he's doing a great job of managing everything. And
Ooh. No improvement.
He stopped pulling away, so we'll see what happens.
Fastest man at every spot now has been Marchenkov.
Oh, here we go, pulling back away a little bit.
Little slower than Marchenkov, little slower than Kaisinger. But at the line, it's only a 10th over Felix Kaisinger.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you see actually at the end, exit of 14, he came out as a straight line and hit the wall.
Yeah.
He had those runners pointed at the wall.
Yeah.
Whereas Felix was kind of trying to shy away from the wall, so he had a little bit of skid, so he probably lost 100th or 2 there.
Well, he's mined enough gold here, maybe, and this year he can, oh, fair enough. Last year's silver medal, the first time he hadn't won since 2008-2009. The winner that day was Bavaria's Florian Gressel.
That is a while back.
Yeah. Well, we'll see him in Koenigsegg with his wife and children, undoubtedly. There's Martin Stuckurs, takes the lead. 6 to go, and Germany still have 2 sliders with a top 6 chance. Here's local boy, Alexander Gassner.
Yeah, he's a great slider here. He's usually one that I, if I'm trackside, I always film him wherever he is. Try and get some insight.
6th place 2 years ago, 16th last year in the snow. A real disaster. Oh, almost over-rotates.
So close to popping.
Yeah, 496, quicker start. Has he got the speed on board? That's decent.
Yeah, he's looking like trademark Gassner right now. He's very efficient, very clean form, very relaxed on the sled. He's not fighting too much. Just little adjustments here and there.
He had 1100s in hand over Martin Stuckurs from the first heat. Still got 500s up.
Pretty good entrance into Kreisel. A little bit more pointed up than I would like, but he's got so many runs here that it makes it look like it didn't even happen.
Equal fastest speed with his teammate Felix Kaisinger, so he's starting to pull away from Martin Stuckurs. Now, those are words every slider likes to hear.
Absolutely.
1200s up. Fastest man, top speed. Gassner at the line by 15, 56, 49, 45, 1300s up.
Yeah, good run.
Yeah.
Very solid, top to bottom. Not much wrong. Can't fix with a slight adjustment here and there. So yeah, looks like he's happy with it.
Yep. 1900s out of the medals after the first heat. How close will that put him?
Yeah, on his start here, he kind of, just a little too lateral on the load, and sled wanted to pop out, but it stuck. Good thing they cut those nice and deep today.
Yeah. And just as well, he's got the experience. Got to get your head together. The moment that happens, forget it. Well, there's the family. Watching down at the bottom is mum and dad. Next up is teammate Axel Jung. We will have a German leader after this. Will we have a German 1-2?
No, Axel's a great starter, so see if he can leverage that into a 492. See if he can leverage that into a great run here. Very nice 0.
3 years ago, tied Alexander Tretiakov, who leads after the first heat here. And that was a silver medal performance, his best on this track.
Yeah, so far he's looking very, very nice. Just straight down the straightaways, and looks like he's not having to work very hard on the curves.
Equal fastest speed in the first heat, in the first corner, quicker than anybody into the Kreisel. Here we go.
Yeah, no, 8.9 looks great. Looks like he has he's still pulling away.
Still faster than anyone, 61.1 miles an hour at the last clock. Now this is a realistic shot for a medal here from Axel Jung. 128.3, fastest speed we've seen. Huge run from Jung, 56.21. That's only a tenth slower than Tretyakov went in the first heat. That would have left him way clear in second in heat one.
Absolutely, that was a great drive. Good push, great drive.
Big run. Now, Sun Bin Young, the Olympic champion, needs to find 0.3 of a second in his first heat just to stay level with that run. That's a big effort. No wonder he's smiling.
Yeah, he's put himself in he's got a chance.
That's a solid medal shot.
Yeah, he's relaxed. You can see his body just kind of jiggling. He only has tension in the muscles that absolutely need it.
Jello. And that helps act as a damper, right? Stops the sled bouncing too much off the ice. It all works together.
Yeah.
He shook his head after the first heat. He ain't shaking it now.
Absolutely not. If he was, I'd be wondering about his sanity.
4 to go. Now then, can Thomas Ducours take a medal here? Last time he was on the podium 2 years ago, it was in a silver behind brother Martins. One of 4 family 1-2s that year. 5 flat. Everybody starting a little quicker than their first run.
Yeah, I really like the entrance to curve 1. See how it sets him up through 2. Very smooth.
Now Axel Jung started 800s quicker, and the gap is growing from 600 to 900s back Thomas Ducours.
Yeah.
Now he had the best of the last few corners in his first heat.
Yeah. So what you're seeing right now is literally the start compounding, because there's no a little bit of skid there maybe, but there's no real issues with his run so far.
It hasn't matched Jung for speed at any of the clocks so far. He needs really big speed.
That's skid entrance at 9.
Not enough. He's not going to catch him. He'll be in second ahead of Alexander Gassner, but Axel Jung moves up 1. 58.46. Well, see, that's an improvement of 2100s over his first run, but Axel Jung went to a special place for his 4/10, 4800s improvement, nearly half a second.
Yeah, driving like a man possessed.
Yeah.
Absolute beautiful execution. Yeah, so you see, that's the skid that I was talking about. Had kind of a nose-down skid on the entrance, and he wiped up, which cuts a huge amount of ice. And then he had to drive really, really hard to keep from ending up on his shoulder out of the exit.
Well, decent run. Thomas Ducours in second. Axel Jung still leads. 3 to go. Jung with a real medal shot. Best ever here is silver. That might still be on. Final 3 sliders are World Cup points leader, the race winner in the season opener in Sigulda, Latvia, Nikita Tretyakov of Russia, the Olympic silver medalist. And he needs something very special here to stay in the medals ahead of Germany's Axel Jung, who laid down a storming second run.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to find something special. A little bit of skids in 0-1 straightaway, but he had a good entrance to 1.
Doesn't start as fast as the German, who was half a second better.
He tried to force it off with 2 a little bit early, which may have cost him.
Let's see what speed he's got into the Kreisel.
No real drama so far, but
93.6, slower than the leader.
you can see him making slight adjustments in the straightaways.
98.3, tied with Axel Jung. The gap is still 800ths of a second. He's as quick as the German.
We'll see if his extra mass helps him walk on the uphill section.
This is going to be very close. 700 in a second. He's coming. 128.8 is just enough. Not enough. Yes, yeah. Axel Jung in the medals.
I'm pretty sure we heard that scream up here in the booth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, over the excitement of the track announcer, we still heard that. So Axel Jung in the medals. And there was only 200ths between Tretyakov here and the man who was quicker than him in the first heat, the Olympic champion, Sun Bin Young.
No, Axel's in a great position right now.
Axel could take another silver medal.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was just, like, you could see him making slight adjustments the whole way down the track. You see him here in 11. He's running kind of low through the first bit, which puts him a little bit high, which sets him up a little too much crossing to 12, which sets a little too crossing to 13.
And ahead just a little up there, looking for the line. You saw Jung with his face pressed down to the ice.
Not quite the trust level that Axel has here.
Well, let's see what Ironman could produce. Our Olympic champion, Korea's Sun Bin Young. Won here last year, his first medal on the track. He's in second place after the first heat. Oh, 488, big
That
start.
getaway. Jeez, you can see the frost starting to build up a little bit in the track. You can see the tracks from the previous sliders between 0 and 1. So see how that factors into things.
1800s up, 1600s now. The gap's coming down despite the quicker start.
Yeah, he's just a little bit offline here and there. And it seems like it's coming down even more.
Junk was quicker coming into the Kreisel.
Very nice exit at Kreisel. Knocked away from 9 a little bit.
Still slower, losing more speed. The gap's gone from 1800s to 700s. He'll be in the red at the next clock. 300s, no, he's not. Really close, needs 128 high. He hasn't got it. This is going to be a tie. No, 100th behind. Junk is in the silver medal position. His best ever result here. He tied Alexander Tretiakov 3 years ago for silver.
Jeez.
If he ties Tretiakov, if something goes wrong, that'll be for gold.
Such a good run.
Wow, the Olympic champion in second, and that was not a shoddy run either.
No, just slight adjustments here and there. And
He found speed on his second run as well, Sunbin Jung, but Jung found so much more.
it shows how good Axel's second run was.
Yeah. And again, if Jung could produce that speed in his first heat, then the leader would not have been 4 tenths clear. He would have been no more than 2 tenths clear. But here is our race leader, Alexander Tretiakov. Not been off the podium, apart from last year, since 2008-9, so a decade. Won here 12 years ago. 4400s ahead of his closest rival. His advantage over Germany's Axel Jung, 5800s, and he starts 482.
Man, that start.
The 2 fastest starts in the field go to Alexander Tretiakov.
Okay, he's making slight adjustments here and there. See if he can hang on to that huge advantage that he built from his amazing start.
Yeah. He needs to hit everything in sight to give away that speed advantage.
Yeah, and especially that first run advantage.
Yeah, 7700s up. Top speed at both speed tracks so far. Quicker than Axel Jung again here. It's going to be silver for Jung, but he can crash it now and still win. Alexander Tretiakov, 12 years since he last won here in Winterberg, destroys the field and wins the second World Cup of the year. A 55.96, the only man under 56 seconds in the race.
Yeah, so the small adjustments I was talking about would probably be attributed to very loose runner setup. So he probably had just barely enough grip to make it down the track without losing it.
Wow, wow, wow. Last week in Sigulda in Latvia, he was starting faster than he started as the fastest man in the field 14 years earlier. And this weekend, he takes his first win here in Winterberg in 12 long seasons. On the edge, over the hill? No, he's quicker than he ever was.
This guy, he's just still crazy fast, and like I said, now he can drive like a maniac too, so it's...
2013, he was complaining about Tregibov and the new young guys catching him up. Well, he's worked out how, by working harder, he can leave them behind again. What a run.
Absolutely. I'm blown away.
Yeah. Like everybody else. Blows us away, blows the field away. 4400s in front at the first heat, 8300s in front in the second heat. Wow. Well, a huge result for Alexander Tretiakov. Victory for the first time in Winterberg in 12 years. Victory for second place for Axel Jung. His best result here, tying with 3 years ago where he tied Tretiakov for silver, and Sunbin Jung, last year's winner, on the podium. So all men here with really solid form at this track. And the 8-time winner, Martin Stukors, finishes in 7th place. Well, that is your top 20 at the end of the second race of the season here in Winterberg. Wow. Michael Rogels, you know, just an exceptional performance to go more than a decade between wins and to come back and just destroy the field like that.
In terms of longevity as an elite athlete, that's astounding.
Spent a lot of time being very fast and very fit. He does not get injured. And if you can bottle that, then you've got something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, the not injured thing seems like a knock on wood type of
yeah,
statement.
no, that's curse the commentator. Yeah, exactly so. But
yeah, no, every year I get surprised by him. So
yeah.
no, it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
He's really nice, and I'm glad to see him doing well.
Yeah, and the harder he works, the better he gets. And that's exactly the way it works. Still, I was going to say, still as fast as ever he was, still faster than ever he was. I'm now going to go and look back and see what speed he started in back in 2006, 2007. But I pretty much guarantee that he's quicker now than he was then. There's the Olympic champion. He won't be unhappy with that. He knew he did almost no training in the summer, recuperating from his knee surgeries, one on either knee. You know, and as befits an Olympic champion, just had a little bit of mental downtime and another podium.
I mean, the post-Olympic season is a good opportunity for the best in the world to kind of fix some of the issues that they've been building up and ignoring for the past few seasons. And I'm glad he took that opportunity to train.
Plus, February into March, we're going to Whistler for the World Championships. Now, he's an Olympic champion, but he's not been a world champion. So there's that little carrot at the end of the season. Don't go too hard too soon.
Yeah, no, and you can build into it, and he's very good in Whistler, so
yeah.
We'll see what happens. It'll be exciting to watch.
Well, I think it's going to be a hell of a season, you know. A win for Nikita Tregibov, a win for Alexander Tretiakov. We've got a whole different slew of names on the podium in the first two World Cup races. So it looks like everybody is, the front of the field is firing very strongly. Snowy Winterberg in Germany. Not a snow race here, though, this year, but a fantastic race for Alexander Tretiakov, who now ties teammate Nikita Tregibov. They've got a win apiece. And Tretiakov winning here by a country mile, as Tregibov did last week in Sigulda. They are the joint World Cup leaders. So do we have two yellow vests? I guess we're going to need them when we rejoin in Altenburg in January. They take the points lead into the Christmas New Year break. Well, 4,400's up after the first heat, Michael Rogels. He was going to have to throw this one away, but he didn't.
No, not even a little bit. He just built on that lead. This crazy start all the way down the track. Yeah, I mean, it was like a little off here and there, but I think he had the perfect setup, perfect mentality. He executed well.
Yeah.
Almost had that victory roll. Couldn't quite give us another one of those for the fans, but I guess I'll leave him alone.
He could have been 4/10 behind after the first heat, and that run would still have won it. Sominyonga Korea in third place with a little glass of the sponsor's product. He's got no more racing to do, so he can enjoy that. A slightly bigger little glass for Axel Jung.
Yeah, it's a nice tradition in Germany.
Yeah, absolutely. The Veltins Ice Arena.
Holy cow, that's a big...
Yeah. There's a lot of head on that. A big grin from Alexander Tretiakov, and why not? That was a massive margin of victory. 12 years since his last win. He is our winner here. Fantastic effort. Well, we come up later today, right after lunch. Greg West will be helping me call the women's skeleton race. My thanks to Michael Rogels. A great World Cup commentary debut. Well done indeed. Thank you to you for joining us. We will be back at 1:30 with the women's skeleton race. Join us at 12:30 GMT. We'll see you then. Bye for now.